Hi everyone. Some of you might know me. My name's Robin. I also work for St Anne's, and I'm finishing your reading through Mark's Gospel, Mark's true story about Jesus. You've just heard, I think, the story about the very sad day when Jesus was killed on a cross. And we're going to read the last bit of Mark's Gospel, which carries on from that sad moment. So it says at the end of Mark chapter 15, this was preparation day. That means the day before the Sabbath. It was becoming dark. A man named Joseph from Arimathea was brave enough to go to Pilate. Pilate was the man who had sentenced Jesus to death. So Joseph of Arimathea was brave enough to go to Pilate and ask for Jesus' body. Think about why that was a brave thing to do. Joseph was an important member of the Jewish council. He was one of the people who wanted the kingdom of God to come. So Jesus had given him hope. Hope that he was the great king forever. Pilate wondered if Jesus was already dead. Pilate called the army officer who guarded Jesus and asked him if Jesus had already died. The officer told Pilate that he was dead. So Pilate told Joseph he could have the body. Joseph bought some linen cloth, took the body down from the cross, and wrapped it in the linen. He put the body in a tomb that was cut in a wall of rock. Then he closed the tomb by rolling a very large stone to cover the entrance. And Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of Joseph saw the place where Jesus was laid. They also loved Jesus and thought he was the king forever. So think how sad this would have been. What a sad day. It then skips 2 days later. And it says, the day after the Sabbath day, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought some sweet-smelling spices to put on Jesus' body. Very early on that day, the first day of the week, the women were on their way to the tomb. It was soon after sunrise. So picture it, early morning, and they're going to do something that was quite normal in those days, going to make the body of their loved one smell better. They said to each other, there is a large stone covering the entrance of the tomb. Who will move the stone for us? Then the women looked and saw that the stone was already moved. The stone was very large, but it was moved away from the entrance. The women entered the tomb and saw a young man wearing a white robe. He was sitting on the right side, and the women were afraid. But the man said, don't be afraid. You're looking for Jesus from Nazareth, the one who was killed on a cross. He is risen from death. He is not here. Look, here is the place where they laid him. Now go and tell his followers and Peter, Jesus is going into Galilee. He will be there before you. You will see him there as he told you before. The women were confused and shaking with fear. They left the tomb and ran away. They did not tell anyone about what had happened because they were afraid. What an amazing end and a surprising end to Mark's Gospel, to Mark's true story about Jesus. It had looked so sad. Jesus, who had brought hope to people who thought he was the king forever, had died. He had been killed. And people had seen that he was dead, including his close friends like Mary Magdalene. But then, when she and others go to the tomb to see the body, it's gone. And the man says, Jesus, who was killed, is not here. He is risen from death. You will see him just as he told you. See, Jesus had always said that God had a plan, that Jesus would die, but that he would rise again and so prove that he really was the king forever, the king even beating death.